Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Wayfinder series. Today is all about doshas. See you in a moment. Doshas have become the Ayurveda ambassadors in the West. At first glance, they seem like something simple or straightforward, but the more you study, the more you find their complexities and their intricacies. To keep this episode simple, we're going to be following the flow of the Ashtanga. Ashtanga is the youngest of the major triad of the Ayurvedic texts. There's the Charaka Samhita, there's the Sushruta Samhita, and there's the Ashtanga, a book on the 8 limbs of Ayurveda. Now it's a book that it's written in poetry, which makes it easier to read, easier to memorize compared to the other major books, and the perfect companion for today's video. Now I'm just a beginner in Sanskrit, I'm just starting the basics, alphabetization and some basic grammar, but I was able to memorize some of these shlokas that we're going to see today. So just for the sake of example, I'm going to read this one. So it says, Vayupitam kapascheti trayodosha samasataha vikrita deham gnantite vartayanti cha. So this is the first time we hear the word dosha in Ashtanga. This is the 6th verse, and it says that Vayu, which is another word for Vata, Pitta and Kapha are the 3 doshas of the body, and they destroy the body if they are in an abnormal state, and they support the body if they are in a state of equilibrium. Now, to understand a bit more what this means, we have to look at the meaning of the word dosha, and the word dosha means that which can vitiate, something that is a fault or a defect. So there's another saying that says, Dushyanti iti doshaha, meaning that dosha is the thing or the one that causes, that vitiates the tissues and the wastes of the body. So first idea, first example of the word is that doshas is something that we still don't know what they are, but if they are in a state of equilibrium, they will support the body. If they are abnormal, they will destroy the body. Now, the doshas are present in everywhere, in every part of the body, from the sole of the feet to the top of the head. But there are main sites of the doshas. So if we divide the body in 3 parts, one part being below the navel, all the area starting with the navel down, the area between the navel and the heart, and the area above the heart, we will find that Vata predominates, or the favorite site or the main site of Vata is below the navel. The favorite or the main side of Pitta is between the navel and the heart, and the main side of Kapha will be above the heart line. So if we divide our life, the day, night, and digestion in 3 as the beginning, the middle, and the end, we will find that the Kapha dosha is more predominant in the first part of all these 3. So childhood and teenagehood will have a predominance of Kapha dosha. The beginning of the day and beginning of the night, so according to the Ayurvedic clock, somewhere between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and again 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and the first stage of digestion would have a predominance of Kapha dosha. The middle stage of life, adulthood, the middle time of the day and the night, so roughly between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and the middle stage of digestion would have a predominance of Kapha dosha, and the last part of our life, old age, the last part of the day and the last part of the night, 2 to 6 a.m. and 2 to 6 p.m. and the last part of digestion will have a predominance of the Vata dosha. So there are 4 types of digestive fires, Agnis, the digestive Agnis. The word Agni means fire, and within Ayurveda it's always related to things like conversion, metabolism, transformation. So doshas being the one that have the capacity to vitiate, they can also affect our digestion. So if Vata dosha is affecting our digestion, we call that Vishama Agni, an Agni that is irregular, that is erratic. Sometimes you digest food very well, sometimes you don't digest food well, but there's no specific pattern, it's just something that it's completely irregular. If Pitta dosha is affecting the Agni, we call that Tikshna Agni. So an Agni that it's very sharp, a very strong digestive power, there's a lot of thirst, sometimes even burning sensation. So this would be an indication that Pitta might be influencing the Agni. And if Kapha dosha is affecting the Agni, we would call this Manda Agni. So Agni that it's slow, that it's heavy. Sometimes we eat something and it takes a lot of time to digest, even if the food was not necessarily heavy. So it means that the digestion is slow and sluggish. And if the three doshas are affecting the Agni properly, because all the three doshas have different tasks within the digestion, but if they're just performing their usual routine without causing problems, we call this Sama Agni. So Agni that it's balanced, that it's working properly. So now we'll talk about our Ayurvedic Constitution, or Prakruti. I think it's another ambassador of Ayurveda in the West. So it's the idea that each one of us has an essential nature of how the doshas are distributed in our body. And this happens at the time of conception. As the verse says, the doshas are present in Shukra and Artava at the time of conception as poison in a poisonous animal. So what this means is that when at the time of the sperm and the ovum get together at the time of conception, there are already doshas present there. And this combination of the doshas will generate the original constitution or the original nature of the new being being formed. And the idea that it's like poison in a poisonous animal, it means that yes, the doshas are the ones that cause problems, but the way that the doshas are organized in our body at the time of birth, it's our nature. So it's our state of equilibrium, something that we don't have problems with. And this will make some more sense as we go through the following verses. But the idea to retain here is that Prakruti is not disease, even if we're talking about predominance of one or more doshas. And because they are present at the time of conceptions, there are some variations that can happen. We can happen that there's a predominance of Vata dosha, predominance of Pitta dosha, and the predominance of Kapha dosha. According to the Ayurvedic texts, the Vata Prakriti, or if someone is born with a predominance of Vata dosha, it's the worst type of Prakruti we can have. If it's the Pitta one, it's average, not too bad, not too good. And if the Kapha one is the best, Uttama, is the best Prakruti we can have. So if at the time of conception the three doshas are in equilibrium, we don't even call them doshas, we call them dhatus. And the word dhatu is something that supports, something that holds. So it would be considered the ideal, the best case scenario for someone to be born with a samadhatu or three dosha Prakruti. And then we have the combination of two doshas, Vata Pitta, Pitta Kapha, or Kapha Vata. And this is considered to be the worst type of combination possible. So we saw that we can have 7 types of Prakruti. Either we can have a predominance of one individual dosha, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, or a predominance of the 3 doshas in equal proportions, or a combination of 2, Vata Pitta, Pitta Kapha, Kapha Vata. So this will be the 7 basic constitutions in Ayurveda. So Ayurveda has different tools to describe the world and describe reality. One of those concepts is the concept of the Gurvadi Gunas. The word guna means quality. So the Gurvadi Gunas is a set of 10 qualities and their opposites that they are used to describe everything around us. And of course, doshas, they will have their own specific qualities. Tatra ruksho lagushita kara sukshmaschalo nilaha. So it means that Vata is ruksha, it's dry. It's lagu, is light. It's shita, cold. Kara, rough. Sukshma, subtle. And chala, mobile or unstable. And if we go look back and if you remember what we said about the digestion, when Vata is affecting the digestion, we can see that quality of chala, mobile or unstable. So that's why we say that it's vishama, it's irregular. Sometimes you digest well, sometimes you don't digest very well, because of this instability of Vata that causes these alterations in our digestion. Pitam sasneya tikshnoshnam lagu visram saram dravam. So Pitta is sasneya, slightly unctuous. Tikshna, sharp. Ushna, hot. Lagu, light. Visra is malodorous with a bad smell. Sara is flowing, and drava, liquid. So again, if you look at the qualities, Tikshna and hot, very sharp. So when we say there's very good appetite, very good digestive power, tendency to burning sensations, a lot of thirst, we can see some of these qualities present when Pitta dosha is affecting the digestion. As an example, Snigdha Shito Gurur Manda Shlakshno Mritsnastira Kapaha. Kapha dosha is Snigdha, unctuous, Shita, cold, Guru, heavy, Manda, slow, Shlakshna, smooth, Mritsna, slimy, and Stira, stable. Again, going back to the digestion, heavy and slow, digestion that it's heavy, it takes a lot of time to digest, it's not very active. So again, this is just a few examples how these qualities can be applied. Now, doshas being the troublemakers in the body, it's easy to assume that imbalance on Vata, Pitta, Kapha will result in disease, and equilibrium of Vata, Pitta, Kapha will result in health. Now, this equilibrium is not a static equilibrium, it's a dynamic equilibrium, because as we've seen in previous verses, the doshas influence different stages of our life, different times of the day and the night, different times of the year, and different types of digestion, and so on. So it's something that it keeps changing all the time, and the body has to keep adapting to it. On that point, I just want to mention that we looked at the concept of Prakruti, and it's very important to understand that Prakruti is not disease. There's another, so the doshas have this tendency of getting out of control. And as they move out of their innate state of balance or equilibrium, which we call Prakruti, they create this state of Vikruti. So the Vikruti is the outer state of the doshas in the body. So the whole process of the Ayurvedic methodology as a science is to bring those doshas that went out of control back to their original nature, and therefore reversing or preventing disease by keeping the body on this state of natural equilibrium. So if you're familiar with yoga, Vedanta and Tantra, I'm sure you heard about the three Mahagunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, or the three main qualities that are responsible for all the creation on the universe, and they're also present in our minds. So if you look at some meanings, some definitions of the word Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, Sattva being purity and wisdom, light, Rajas activity, agitation and passion, and Tamas darkness, gloom and inertia, we'll actually see the meaning of this the verse and why only Rajas and Tamas are the two doshas of the mind. Remember that the word dosha is the one that can cause problems or imbalances. Now, too much inertia, too much gloom, too much darkness can definitely cause problems on the long term. Too much activity, too much agitation, too much passion can also cause lots of problems actually. And can purity and wisdom cause problems? I doubt it. So I think this is the idea that in the mind only Rajas and Tamas is the one that can cause problems. Does it mean that Rajas and Tamas are bad? Not at all. We need those three gunas for our mind to function properly. Because, for example, we would not be able to go to sleep without the effect of Tamas, and we will also not be able to perform action if it wasn't for the effect of Rajas. So again, all of this should be in a balanced way. I think the idea from a yogic perspective is that we should move towards a more sattvic state of mind. That doesn't mean that Rajas and Tamas should not exist, but they should just be there to perform their normal functions. So this was our introduction to the doshas according to the Ashtanga Sutrasthana chapter 1. The next videos are going to be talking about the doshas individually, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do ring that little bell to get notified when a new video comes up. Wish you good health. See you on the way.